Ambe Steels, J Bancha, Diko Bancha. Real, Jamghar Jahan, Real Party Pack Tyahan.
Proud to be associated with Kantipur News.
As tensions flare in the Middle East, the Nepalese embassy in Israel has begun collecting details from Nepali citizens wishing to return home from both Israel and Iran amid growing fears over their safety. The move comes as Iran issues a stern warning to US President Donald Trump, urging him not to interfere in the conflict. Back home, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli convened a meeting with top leaders to address mounting political pressure, from calls for a probe into the visit visa case to debates over a mandatory cooling-off period for retired civil servants. In the next 3 hours, we are covering each of these developments here at Kantipur News. Good evening, I am Aprila Ghising Lama. These are the headlines of the hour. Nepali embassy in Israel begins collecting information from Nepalese in Israel and Iran for repatriation as tensions between the two countries show no sign of de-escalation. Leaders of major political parties attend meeting called by Prime Minister Oli. Demands by opposition for a probe into visit visa case and cooling period among the agendas. Maoist Center Chair Dahal absent. Iran's supreme leader warns Trump of irreparable harm if US joins Israel strikes. Threat comes after Trump's call for unconditional surrender. And Manchester City play Moroccan club Wydad AC at the FIFA Club World Cup this evening. Real Madrid host Al Hilal 45 minutes past midnight tonight. Welcome back. The Nepali embassy in Israel has started collecting information from Nepali citizens who wish to return from Israel and Iran. As the conflict between Israel and Iran intensifies, the embassy has initiated this data collection to facilitate possible rescue and repatriation efforts. The ongoing conflict has seen daily missile and rocket attacks between the two countries. In response, the embassy is gathering details of Nepali citizens to ensure their safety and begin the process of rescue and repatriation if needed. The Nepali embassy in Tel Aviv stated that this data collection is being carried out to assist Nepali citizens who may be in distress or fear due to the worsening situation. The information will help plan for rescue, return to Nepal, or other necessary support. The embassy has also requested interested Nepali citizens to register for this process. According to the embassy, there are about 7,000 Nepalese in Israel and 12 in Iran. Nepal's ambassador to Israel, Dhan Prasad Pandit, has said that if people willing to return get in touch, further plans will be made based on the number of requests. Now it is time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse, brought to you by
Global College of Management, the first choice for +2 management. Banishwar, Kathmandu. Global School of Science, an exclusive center of +2 science. Banishwar, Kathmandu.
Here's today's question. What should the government do for the safety of Nepali nationals in Israel and Iran amid escalating conflict? Your options are A, immediate rescue, B, initiate diplomatic efforts, C, activate concerned embassies, or D, prefer not to comment. Visit www.kantipurtv.com or www.ekantipur.com to share your opinion with us. Now moving on, a meeting of the top leaders of the ruling parties, Nepali Congress and CPN-UML, is currently underway. Although Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli called for a meeting of the three major parties, chairperson of the main opposition party, CPN Maoist Center, Pushpa Kamal Dahal, is in Chitwan and is absent from the meeting. The meeting at the Prime Minister's residence in Balwatar is attended by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Deuba and other leaders. According to sources close to the Prime Minister, the meeting is discussing the demands from opposition parties Rashtriya Swatantra Party RSP and Rashtriya Prajatantra Party RPP for the formation of an investigative committee regarding the visit visa controversy. The meeting is also dwelling on the 2-year cooling-off period included in the Federal Civil Service Bill. Prime Minister Oli has expressed dissatisfaction with the cooling-off period arrangement in the bill, which has already been passed by the State Affairs and Good Governance Committee and presented to Parliament. He is expected to bring up the matter of removing this provision in today's meeting. Now, almost 2 months after its formation, the first meeting of the high-level Good Governance Commission has been held. The Council of Ministers, in its meeting on 21 April, had formed the 15-member high-level Good Governance Commission chaired by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. In today's meeting held at the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers office, Singha Darbar, discussions were held regarding the Commission's purpose, scope of work and priority agenda. Representatives from political parties, experts and the private sector will be nominated soon, and the second full meeting is scheduled for next week. The meeting was attended by Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Bishnu Prasad Paudel, Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak, Minister for Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Ajay Chaurasia, Federal Affairs and General Administration Minister Rajkumar Gupta, among others. Now, in recent times, just as human trafficking has surged under the pretense of visit visas, educational visas are also emerging as a new form of human trafficking and smuggling. Since destination countries primarily issue visas based on enrollment documents from educational institutions, traffickers have increasingly turned to educational visas as a convenient route. Moreover, many individuals traveling abroad on student visas are focusing more on employment than academics, prompting destination countries to raise concerns.
Anti-corruption bodies and other government agencies are currently investigating suspected human trafficking operations carried out under visit visas, allegedly involving high-ranking officials. Simultaneously, similar suspicions have led to the launch of investigations into trafficking under the guise of educational visas. Because visas are easily granted based on enrollment documents from destination country institutions, human smuggling through educational visas has become increasingly common. Following complaints that many students on such visas were prioritizing jobs over studies, the government has temporarily suspended the issuance of new study permits.
विद्यार्थीहरु एकदम +2 मात्र गरेर गएको छन्, कोरियन भाषा पढ्न पनि गएको छन्, ब्ल्याकलिस्टेड युनिभर्सिटीहरुमा पनि पढेका छन्, जुलुस निस्किसक्यो खोल भनेर मन्त्रालयमा आइसक्यो, मैले पनि हुँदैन, खोलिदैन। हामीसँग कागजमा 1.5 लाख रुपैयाँ लिए पनि एक्चुअली हामीले बुझाएको पैसा चाहिँ 15 लाख छ, 16 लाख छ, 18 लाख छ। हामीले दिएको अनुमति पढ्नको लागि हो, तर उहाँहरु चाहिँ कामका लागि अनुमति लिएको जस्तो भयो हुनाले यो चाहिँ मुख्य विकृति हो। उता चाहिँ पैसा कमाउनको लागि र कामकै लागि चाहिँ गएको भन्ने खालको यो रिपोर्टिङहरु त्यस्तो खालको छ।
Irregularities persist in the issuance of no objection certificate, a mandatory document for studying abroad, and it indicates the rise of trafficking through educational channels. Allegations have surfaced that NOCs were issued in exchange for bribes, even to students lacking proper documentation. As a result, the Ministry of Education has formed a probe committee to investigate. Another significant red flag is the existence of thousands of unregistered and illegally operating educational consultancies across the country. These consultancies often lure students with false promises, increasing the risk of exploitation and fraud once they're abroad. According to Ministry of Education, some students have even ended up at blacklisted or disreputable universities, highlighting that many are using educational visas primarily to seek employment rather than to study.
युरोपियन कन्ट्रीजहरुमा पनि तपाईको विगतमा रसियन कन्ट्रीजहरुमा पनि समस्या आयो। तपाईले सुन्नुभयो यो विगतमा चाहिँ कोरियाको पनि तपाईको यो समस्या आयो। र यति मात्र होइन, अस्ट्रेलियाका पनि तपाईको विभिन्न ठाउँहरुमा विद्यार्थीहरुले चाहिँ के भन्दाखेरि डेरा नपाएको, विद्यार्थीहरुलाई आवासका सुविधाहरु सजिलै प्रबन्ध नभएको भन्ने लगायतका। अब यो सबै चीजहरुमा हामीले एउटा के छ भन्दाखेरि सरकारले एउटा सिंगो नागरिकको चोइसको लागि, नागरिकको इन्ट्रेस्ट प्रोटेक्ट गर्नको लागि, नागरिकको छनौटलाई सम्मान गर्नको लागि कानुनी प्रबन्धहरु गरियो। ती वैदेशिक निकायहरुमा या संस्थाहरुमा उहाँहरु अध्ययन गर्नको लागि जानुभयो।
The ministry says Nepali students travel to over 2,000 educational institutions in 116 countries, and approximately 110,000 apply for NOC each year. However, representatives of the education consultancy sector argue that linking student migration with human trafficking is unjustified.
पार्ट टाइम जब गर्न पाउने त्यो देशको श्रम मन्त्रालय अन्तर्गतको ती श्रमिकहरूको अधिकार छ वा त्यो देशमा पढ्न जाने विद्यार्थीहरूलाई त्यो अधिकार प्रत्यायोजन गरेको हुनाले त्यसलाई आपत्ति मानिरहनु पर्ने अवस्था छैन। त्यसलाई त्यसरी श्रम शोषक रूपमा लिन हुँदैन।
While it is acceptable that those providing services legally and responsibly should not be held accountable for malpractices committed by unregistered or fraudulent operators, a counter question remains. Can they take responsibility for those operating illegally? The fact that the Ministry of Education itself has launched an investigation confirms that illicit practices do exist in this domain. With Vikas Joshi and Binod Kojo on camera, a report by Naren Kilambu for Kantipur News, Kathmandu.
Vice Chair of CP and UML Bishnu Prasad Paudel has stated that while there may be no questions about the capability of the party leadership, there has been a decline in enthusiasm and activeness among the party cadres. At a party event held in Kathmandu today, Paudel, who is also the Deputy Prime Minister, claimed that the party leadership has the ability to maintain party unity and play an effective role in national politics. However, he noted a lack of energy and engagement at the grassroots level.
पार्टी को अहिलेको नेतृत्वले पार्टी भित्र देखा परेका हर कुनै समस्याको समाधान गर्न सक्छ र पार्टीको एकता र अग्रगति सुरक्षित गर्दै राष्ट्रिय राजनीतिमा पार्टीको भूमिकालाई अझ प्रभावकारी बनाउँदै अगाडि बढ्न सक्छ भन्ने कुरामा हाम्रा सबै नेता कार्यकर्ताले विश्वास पनि गर्नुपर्छ र त्यो सामर्थ्य पार्टीसँग छ भन्ने कुरा म राख्न चाहन्छु। बरु पछिल्लो दिनमा हामीलाई परिरहेको चिन्ता के छ भने हाम्रो पंक्तिमा अलिकति आवश्यक मात्रामा त्यो गति उत्साह ऊर्जा कम देखिएको छ।
Paudel expressed confidence that there will not be major disputes regarding the party leadership. Moving on, the Koshi province government has urged stakeholders to provide suggestions for the Koshi Development Dialogue 2025, which is planned to be held by 31st of July. In a preliminary consultation meeting held today in Lalitpur, Koshi's Chief Minister Hikmat Kumar Karki urged participants to submit suggestions, including priorities and agendas. He stated that the dialogue they conduct would also help other provinces and municipalities in determining their development priorities. At the consultation meeting for the development dialogue, representatives of Nepal's development partner organizations, ambassadors and representatives from national and international non-governmental organizations provided suggestions along with commitments to support Koshi's development. At the event, Rajendra Adhikari, Vice Chairperson of the Koshi Province Planning Commission, presented the possibilities in sectors such as agriculture, industry, tourism, education, health and good governance as the main agenda for the discussion. Now, Pyaratal Lake in Kantipur, rich in biodiversity and history, is being revived through joint efforts from locals and the government. A habitat for aquatic life and birds, the lake near India's Duduwa National Park also draws attention due to an ongoing border dispute.
In Ward number 9 of Punarbas municipality in Kanchanpur lies Pyaratal, a natural lake stretching approximately 6 kilometers in length, 50 to 100 meters in width. Over the past 2 decades, the area has witnessed growing tension due to shifting border markers. Indian authorities reportedly removed border pillar number 195 nearly 20 years ago, followed later by the disappearance of pillar number 196. These actions have raised concerns among local residents over increasing interest in the surrounding 200 bighas of Nepali land. Residents report that India's Sashastra Seema Bal (SSB) has consistently obstructed Nepali citizens from accessing areas within their own territory, including grazing lands and lake resources on the southern side of the lake. This presence has also impacted local conservation efforts. However, these challenges have not deterred ongoing community-led efforts to defend national territory and preserve the lake's ecological and cultural value. Local unity and grassroots mobilizations have been central to protecting Pyaratal. These efforts have helped give new momentum to the conservation campaign, leading to various development activities.
विश्वमै दुर्लभ रहेका थुप्रै जलचर प्राणीहरूको वासस्थान रहेको यो प्याराताल भोलि सुदूरपश्चिमकै एउटा यो जीव विज्ञानका विद्यार्थीहरूका लागि एउटा उत्कृष्ट अध्ययन अवलोकन गर्ने एउटा स्थलको रूपमा यो विकास हुनेछ.
The lake, although leased for fishing by the municipality, continues to face ecological challenges, particularly due to invasive water hyacinth. In 2021, under the Prime Minister Employment Programme, a cleanup campaign was launched, but SSB interference reportedly disrupted the effort. Since then, only partial cleaning operations have been possible at intervals. Before these developments, very few public structures existed near the lake aside from a picnic area developed with support from the Nepal Tourism Board. In recent years, citizens have taken the initiative to transform Pyaratal into a tourism destination. Under the leadership of the Pyaratal Tourism Development Board, community organizations and private individuals have contributed to building basic infrastructure and improving facilities around the lake. The local Chamber of Commerce and other private sectors have also joined hands in the effort.
Pyaratal क्षेत्रलाई विकास गर्न सकेमा हाम्रो यस क्षेत्रको आन्तरिक स्रोत पनि बढ्ने र पर्यटकहरूको चाहिँ एउटा गन्तव्य स्थल पनि बन्ने हामीले अपेक्षा छ.
In the current fiscal year, the federal government allocated 9 million Nepali rupees, while the municipality added 2 million, bringing the total investment to 11 million Nepali rupees. With this funding, projects such as embankment construction, land leveling, and a multi-purpose hall are now in progress.
यस वर्ष पनि केही बजेटहरु प्रदेशबाट माग गर्ने उसमा छौं. के संघबाट पनि माग गरेका छौं. अब हेरौं संघले पनि के गर्छ र हामी नगरपालिकाले सानो बजेट त अब दिनै राखेका छौं.
Pyaratal is undergoing visible transformation. With continued citizen initiative, government support and vigilance along the border, there is growing expectation that Pyaratal will establish itself as a distinct destination on Nepal's tourism map. For Kantipur News, a report by Harish Chandrabag.
That is all for the moment. Our colleague Rupa Khatka will join you at 7 p.m. with developments on the meeting called by Prime Minister Oli between top leaders, the latest on Israel-Iran tensions and more. Thank you for watching.